Hello, what is up guys? It is Truth here, and I am back with another video for you all on Fallout 4. I saw how well the other video did, and wow, I just want to say thank you first of all, and thank you for the comments. I really do love engaging with you guys. I am human just like you lot, so you know, I really love just chatting about this stuff. Side note here, I don't have a lot of friends who actually play Fallout, so it's lovely to actually chat to some of you guys about your different opinions and things. Alright, so let's get into the topic of today's video, and that is the Minutemen. Let's have a deep look into the Minutemen and what they could have been versus what they are in Fallout now. So, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, a like would very much be appreciated. And also, think about subscribing with the bell on. I make content twice a week on different varieties of games, and chances are, if this video does well, you'll get another one Fallout 4. If you would like it anyway. So, let's get right into this. The Minutemen are the first faction you meet traditionally in Fallout 4, and they're also my second least favorite faction, right there next to the railroad and their chums. Anyway, the Minutemen are the traditional good guys of the Fallout universe, led by Preston Garvey, I believe his name is. And they're sort of a socialist, imperialist group, I suppose you could call them. I hope I'm getting that right, I'm pretty sure I am. And I'd just like to say changes that I would personally make to them. However, before I can do this, I need to take you through the Minutemen's questline and what it all involves in originally. So your first main objective pretty much is to go to the nearest town and help the survivors. This is where you meet Preston, who he tells you all the Minutemen are dead, and it's just him and some survivors left. So what are the Minutemen? Basically, a long time ago, they were a group of soldiers who were fighting to protect the Commonwealth from invaders, ghouls, super mutants, anyone who wasn't friendly. So they're pretty much just the good guys. They would help people out, set up farms, and help people until one day their base was attacked. We have no idea who their base was attacked by. It doesn't say. I believe Preston mentions a civil war of some sort. However, he never really goes into detail. All we know is that Preston is pretty much the last one. Even if you tell him to fuck off, he still asks you to come join his boy band, and thus the Minutemen quest begins. After you go around finding some farms and, recruiting them into the Minutemen, you take back the Minutemen's original base, a fort, a castle actually, a castle base, and I gotta give it to the Minutemen in this whole scheme of things. You really can build a lot of like bases and stuff like that with the Minutemen. The castle is the best place to build in my opinion in Fallout, because you really can. Some people have made it look very cool. Personally, I find the building to get a little bit repetitive after time, so I'm not really into all of that too much. However, the time that I do build, castle always looks cool for me. The Minutemen's quest is also the shortest with the least amount of actual quests in it. So basically what you do is you keep recruiting more settlements and villages into the Minutemen ranks, even though no, it doesn't look like you've actually recruited anyone into Castle Base, because it still remains you and Preston pretty much. So eventually you meet the old general of the Minutemen a long time ago, and this is after, by the way, Preston appoints you General of the Minutemen, making you the leader of the whole army. I say army, you really only have some farmers with you. Anyway, I digress. You meet the old general, and she tells you that you can open up the vault of the Minutemen and all of that. So you do so, and you get some cool supplies and stuff like that, and then the quest sort of ends for a while, and then it picks back up after you. If you choose to start with the Minutemen, it goes like this. Basically, what happens is you build your teleporter with the Minutemen. You don't have to, but, ideally, ideally, oh my god, I cannot say that. Anyway, you know what I mean, though. Yeah, you build your teleporter with them, and then pretty much the main quest line will begin. So, you will go up to Preston, and to have this happen, you have to have betrayed either the Institute or the Brotherhood. Side note here, the Minutemen do not interact with the railroad whatsoever. There's no option to destroy the railroad as the Minutemen, and you just can't really do it. I mean, you can solo, you can just run over there and kill them all, but like the Minutemen have no problems with them, and they do not interact at all, which is another issue, but I'll come to that later on. Anyway, so what you do is you go with the Minutemen, and this results in two things. So you can say you hate both the Brotherhood and Institute, in which Preston will sob a little bit about the people you're about to mass genocide. You'll walk over to the old Institute base, you'll blow the shit out of them, you can save some people in the process, and then you go home and you cannon the Brotherhood, which, by the way, is hilarious to me, because with the Institute you have this really cool epic battle. With the Minutemen, nah, just use a cannon and just blow them out the sky. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so in doing so you become murderers, but hey, it's for the Commonwealth. The thing that I do like about the Minutemen is they have got technically the most peaceful ending. If you only choose the Institute, you can still keep the Brotherhood and the Railroad alive, which is good, because, well, obviously, you're keeping the most amount of people alive. And this was my original playthrough, and I do think it's technically the second best. My reason for this being is because if you destroy the Institute, you still keep the Brotherhood and Railroad alive, and obviously the Minutemen can rebuild. So, you know, 3 factions all rebuilding the Commonwealth, that's pretty cool, and it's not been really done before in the Fallout. However, then their quest ends there, and let me just say, I have a lot of issues with this quest. So let's get into some things I fucking hate about the Minutemen. First of all, Preston. This motherfucker is the most annoying NPC in the game. All he does is bombard you with quests, and my biggest problem with the Minutemen revolves around him. The Minutemen are unkillable. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot kill the Minutemen. You cannot betray them. You cannot do jack shit to them. You cannot kill Preston. Preston was made as a follower character, a companion. That means you cannot kill him, which in doing so means the Minutemen can never betray you, or you can never kill them. Perhaps in another quest you can, but as far as I'm concerned, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't kill the Minutemen without mods. This makes the game incredibly frustrating, because in doing so, there's only 3 real factions, because if you don't want to side with the Minutemen, cool, but I guess you're not doing up these farms like you would be normally. Having Preston as a companion is cool, I understand that, and he is a cool character. However, having him as a companion also stabs yourself in the foot, because that means the Minutemen's detail is gone, because you can't betray them, you can't have any real problems with them, and it becomes a big mess. The Minutemen also just can't really compete with any of the other factions, even the Railroad. I mean, I do like the idea of you being a general and you being the leader of a faction, but it doesn't really work, because no one really takes you seriously. The Brotherhood don't give a shit that you're the general, the Institute don't give a shit that you're the general, and I think the Railroads say it maybe once in your introduction, but that's it. There's nothing there. They don't care. No one cares that you're the general of the Minutemen. Cool, you're the general of farmers, pretty much. And this links to my next problem with the Minutemen. There are far too few of your soldiers for you to feel like you're actually building an army. It just doesn't feel like you're building any army or resistance at all. At the very end of the game, you get yourself like 20 soldiers, and that's it. That is it. It doesn't feel like you're building an army or anything. It just feels like you've got a ragtag group, no different than raiders. And to say that I have heard the word, or the sentence, a settlement needs your help, a settlement needs your help, a settlement needs your help.
Another settlement has sent word that they need our help. I'll mark it on your map. Go find out what they need.
So many times, it actually has fried my brain. I'm convinced, or something. Okay, so what do I think the Minutemen should have been? Okay, well, let's take ourselves way back to the beginning, where I was talking about where you first meet them. First of all, do not make that mandatory, and do not make Preston a main character / companion. Fuck that, don't make it work. Basically, at this very beginning, here's what should happen. If you tell Preston to fuck off, he should say, okay, the Minutemen don't want anything to do with you now. Here's what should then happen. Preston should slowly build his own army, and he should rebuild the Minutemen. He's not a companion in this stage, and that actually makes him a cool force, because you've met him before, you've told him to piss off, and now obviously he has resentment for that. Now, if you said yes to Preston of joining the Minutemen, cool. But here's the thing. When you become general, you should be able to make actual decisions about the Minutemen. You shouldn't just be able to make very minor endgame decisions. I mean, you should be able to decide how the Minutemen are rebuilt. Are you a brutal version of the Minutemen? Are you a kind and caring? Are you a loving? Are you a neutral? The Minutemen should be built from the foundation of you and you alone. Hell, you could have maybe meetings with different members of the Minutemen and debates. I mean, how cool would that be? But instead, we're not giving any of this. I do not have a problem with the Minutemen trying to be this socialist, good, strong-willed faction who want to rebuild, you know, the Commonwealth together. But, you know, make it around your decisions. How do you want to do that? Maybe you could make yourselves like, I don't know, Julia's Legion or something like that. You know, really rebuild it around your decisions. By doing this, what you have to do is not make Preston commander of the Minutemen, or rather, sorry, not make Preston a companion, is what I mean. If he's a companion, then it ruins it. You can't kill him, you can't offend the Minutemen. Also, make the Minutemen build up on their own. See the Minutemen slowly take over and start to build things, rebuild the castle, like have the castle rebuilt so it's electrified, there's security walls, there's turrets, and you actually feel like a mobilized army. Show that your soldiers appreciate you, have them patrol the Commonwealth streets and things, and eventually see this build in the army. Have decisions about rebuilding the Commonwealth, in which way you want to do it. Tackle the centre city first, make that your decision. Tackle the farms first, make that your decision. Tackle different, you know, factions, whether it be raiders, ghouls, super mutants, make that be your decision. Then make people in the Minutemen, I don't know, like the old general, debate you on that, and you have to come to a vote of some sort and convince your people in which way or what way to talk yourself into doing what you want to do. So in a nutshell, how I would have the Minutemen's questline go is, of course, Preston's now not your companion, so if you say yes, you rebuild the Minutemen pretty much just the same with him. However, you get to rebuild parts of the Commonwealth and the city together to really show, you know, that you've got an interest in actually helping the Commonwealth, whether it be through technology or other things. This also plays into the fact that the Brotherhood, Railroad and Institute would actually be interested in you. Say you want technology to rebuild the Commonwealth, well, the Brotherhood are definitely going to have a problem with that. That creates conflict. Say maybe you create, grab synths into your unit, into the Minutemen, recruit synths into the Minutemen. Well, now the Institute don't like you. Say you hate synths and you need to destroy them to get through this area. Now the Railroad don't like you. Now, I have no problem with the Minutemen being the good guys, but do something interesting with this. How about if you pick the Minutemen ending, you have to talk your way out of troubles with the factions. Maybe not mainline massive battles like we see, but actually speech checking them. Maybe the Railroad don't like that you're killing and just getting rid of synths, so you have to go and talk to them. Maybe roll out with an army of about 60 people to the Railroad HQ and have a diplomatic political debate. How cool would that be, using all your speech checks and things, and having to really convince Desdemona that what you're doing is right for the Commonwealth? Hell, maybe even you could make allies with certain factions and groups. Maybe you could sign deals with raiders so that this land's yours. The possibilities of a Minutemen faction that you're in control of, and it's done well, is perfect. All they need to do is make Preston not a companion, make the quest far more interesting, and have far more of a big impact on the Commonwealth as a whole. This means far more decisions. Also, add more and more likeable characters. The more diverse your group becomes, the more political arguments you're going to have with other factions. This would then fit the Minutemen perfectly into factions, because at the minute the Minutemen only fit really in between the Brotherhood and the Institute. They don't even come close to, you know, speaking with the Railroad. If you added synths with the Minutemen, this then gives them a connective to the Railroad. Just think the possibilities here, they are insane. But in reality, what we got was a dumbed down, very watered down version of this, where you fuck around with Preston for about 10 hours of the game, recruiting settlements and slowly and just boringly building makeshift bases until you choose two endings between. Why don't the endings in this version, the version that I'm describing, there could be multiple. Say you chose to, you know, rebuild the central city first, maybe that had a different impact. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. This has been a very long video. for me to make anyway. And it is more of a rant video, but this one's, I think, structured better. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you would like my rant. I don't know, maybe I should do a follow-up video on this where I really go in depth or not. I'm not sure. Let me know. It's been fantastic making this video. It's been fantastic interacting with you guys. I hope to see you all return for this one and for the next. And I will see you guys in the next video. It's been Truth. Stay safe.